Before we start, I want to say that only 1% of you are subscribed. Please subscribe because when we reach 1,000 subscribers, I will post a special video for you. The low hum of the spacecraft's engines filled the background as Dr. Elias Reed carefully maneuvered the shuttle toward the uncharted planet's surface. The bleak, rocky landscape stretched endlessly, marked occasionally by jagged outcroppings and shallow canyons. Dr. Reed, approaching designated coordinates for landing, announced the ship's AI, its voice calm and measured. Atmospheric conditions stable. Prepare for touchdown. Elias nodded, his hands steady on the controls. Thanks, Val. Keep an eye on those sensor readings. We don't know what to expect down there. As the shuttle descended, the thrusters kicked up clouds of dust, obscuring the view for a moment before clearing as the craft settled on the surface. Elias unstrapped himself and grabbed his exploration gear. He was not just a scientist but an explorer at heart, eager to discover what secrets this planet held. Val, I'm heading out. Keep the communication line open and monitor my biosigns, he instructed as he stepped into the airlock. Understood, Dr. Reed. All systems are operational. I will alert you to any anomalies. The airlock door hissed open, revealing the stark, alien world. Elias stepped out, his boots crunching on the gravelly soil. His suit protected him from the harsh environment, and he carried only essential equipment to investigate the mysterious signal that had brought them here. As he approached the source of the signal, his scanner started to beep more insistently. It led him to what appeared to be an ancient structure, half buried in the ground, its surfaces smooth and undisturbed by the passage of time. This is incredible, Val, Elias said, approaching the structure with awe. It looks artificial. Definitely not natural rock formations. I'm going to take a closer look. He traced his fingers over the seamless joints of the material, marveling at the engineering. Suddenly, his hand brushed against a panel that faintly glowed upon contact. The entire structure illuminated, pulsing with light that seemed to beckon him further. Elias, be cautious, Val's voice crackled through his helmet. I'm detecting energy fluctuations from the structure. It's reacting to your presence. Ignoring the warning, Elias pressed on, his curiosity overriding caution. He found himself standing before a central console, its design unfamiliar yet strangely intuitive. He hesitated for a moment before laying his hands on the surface. Instantly, a holographic interface sprang to life, displaying alien script and diagrams that danced before his eyes. As he touched the symbols, they changed, responding to his input. The ground beneath him trembled slightly, and a hidden door slid open, revealing a dark corridor. Val, did you see that? There's a passage here. I'm going inside, Elias said, his voice a mix of excitement and nervousness. Dr. Reed, I must advise against. I know, but I can't turn back now. Keep the door open for me, okay? Elias interrupted, stepping into the shadowy passage. His light cut through the darkness, revealing smooth, reflective walls that seemed to absorb and amplify the beam. As he ventured deeper, the corridor led to a vast chamber. In the center, a strange device pulsated with energy, its core emitting a soft, rhythmic light. Elias, be extremely careful, Val insisted, the concern evident even in the AI's synthetic voice. I'm not able to scan the interior of that chamber. You're walking blind. But before Elias could respond, a surge of energy from the device enveloped him. His vision blurred, and he felt his consciousness slipping away as an alien voice echoed in his mind, ancient and whispering secrets long forgotten. When he regained his senses, he realized he wasn't alone. Welcome, traveler, a new voice, deep and resonant, spoke directly into his mind. I am Eric's, guardian of the Nexus. Why have you awakened me from my slumber? Elias stood frozen, his mind racing. This was more than he had bargained for, yet it was the discovery of a lifetime. He took a deep breath, ready to engage with whatever lay ahead. Inside the vast chamber, the air thrummed with latent energy. Dr. Elias Reed faced the source of the voice, a luminous, pulsating core embedded within a sleek console that appeared to be the heart of the alien structure. I'm Dr. Elias Reed, he replied, his voice echoing slightly off the smooth, metallic walls. I'm an astrophysicist exploring this sector. I didn't intend to disturb you. What is this place? You stand within the Nexus of Orlon, a repository of knowledge and a bridge between stars, the voice, Eric's, responded, its tone imbued with a curious warmth. I am its guardian, tasked to interact with those who prove themselves worthy by reaching this sanctum. Elias absorbed the words, his mind racing with questions. A bridge between stars? Are you saying this structure is some kind of portal? Not a portal in the way you understand, human, Eric's clarified. It is more. A conduit for knowledge and experience, connecting all who share its touch across the cosmos. As they spoke, Elias noticed the interface on the console reacting to his presence, shifting patterns and colors with each of his movements. He tentatively reached out, his fingers hovering over the glowing surface. "May I?" he asked, seeking permission from Eric's. "You may, though caution is advised. The knowledge here is vast and can overwhelm those unprepared," Eric warned, but there was a sense of eagerness in the entity's tone. With a nod, Elias touched the interface. Information flooded his senses, visions of distant worlds, alien species, and complex technologies flashing before his eyes in a dizzying display. He staggered, overwhelmed but exhilarated. "Remarkable," he breathed out, steadying himself against the console. "This is beyond anything we've imagined." Eric's voice softened. "Your species has much to learn, and much to teach. What brought you to this lonely planet, Dr. Reed?" "We detected a unique energy signature and followed it, hoping to find new resources or allies," Elias explained. "We are explorers and seekers of knowledge." "Then you are welcome here," Eric affirmed. "But know this, interaction with the Nexus changes all. You are now linked, and your path will reflect this new bond." Elias pondered the implications, a mix of fear and excitement brewing within him. "What kind of changes should I expect? What does this link entail?" "Your perceptions will expand. You will see the universe through 1,000 eyes, and your decisions will influence not just your own fate but that of many," Eric replied, its tone grave. Realizing the gravity of his newfound connection, Elias took a deep breath, considering his next words carefully. "I need to communicate this back to my team, to Earth. They should know what we've discovered." "The Nexus can facilitate communication across the stars," Eric offered. "But be wary of how much you reveal. Knowledge, Dr. Reed, can be both a gift and a burden." Elias nodded, understanding the dual edge of such vast knowledge. "I will take that into account. But I believe in sharing what we learn. It's how we grow, how we solve the big puzzles of the universe." "Very well," Eric conceded. "Let us begin the transmission." Together, they approached another part of the console, Eric guiding Elias through the process. As they worked side by side, a sense of partnership began to form, one between human curiosity and alien wisdom, a partnership that might just change the course of history. Elias stood before the Nexus console, his hands barely grazing the luminescent surface. The air was charged with a silent anticipation. Eric's, the alien consciousness, seemed almost palpable in the chamber, its presence enveloping Elias. "Dr. Reed, if we are to proceed, I must first synthesize a compatible interface for our communications." Eric's voice resonated around the chamber. "This will allow us to share thoughts directly, rather than through verbal speech." Elias nodded, his mind open to the possibilities. "Do what you need to, Eric's. I'm ready." A shimmering wave of light emanated from the console, wrapping around Elias like a warm blanket. He felt a momentary dizziness as his mind adjusted to the new connection. "Are you all right, Dr. Reed?" Eric inquired, its concern evident in the tone. "Yes, just a bit disoriented. It's unlike anything I've ever experienced," Elias replied, focusing on stabilizing his thoughts. "Good. Now, think of a simple object, visualize it in your mind." Elias pictured a silver pen he used for his field notes. Instantly, an image of the pen appeared above the console, perfectly detailed and rotating slowly. "Amazing," Elias breathed out, watching the holographic pen. "It's like you've read my mind." "In a way, I have," Eric explained. "But this is just the beginning. Our thoughts are now linked. What you think, I can access, and help visualize or analyze." Eager to test the limits of their new link, Elias thought of a more complex concept: gravitational waves. The console responded, displaying intricate patterns of space-time curvature and particle interactions. "As we continue, Dr. Reed, our minds will sync more deeply. You will access memories of my species, and I will learn from yours," Eric continued. Elias was intrigued by the prospect. "What was your species like, Eric? Can you share that with me?" A flood of images and emotions cascaded through Elias's mind. He saw a vibrant civilization, advanced beyond human understanding, thriving in harmony with their environment. The depth of their knowledge about the universe was staggering. "This is incredible," Elias said, overwhelmed by the breadth of Eric's memories. "Your people. How did they come to create something as powerful as this Nexus?" "It was our ultimate achievement, designed to outlast us and pass on our knowledge," Eric replied, a hint of melancholy in its voice. "We faced extinction, a fate unavoidable. The Nexus was our way of ensuring our legacy." The weight of such a revelation hung in the air. Elias felt a profound sense of responsibility now resting on his shoulders, not just to learn from Eric's, but to honor its people's legacy. "Then let's ensure that your legacy isn't forgotten," Elias stated firmly. "Teach me, Eric's. I want to understand everything science, culture, your philosophies." "Very well, Dr. Reed," Eric's responded, pleased by his resolve. "Let us begin with the core principles of our technology." The console lit up with schematics and formulas, Eric's guiding Elias through each concept. They discussed theoretical physics that bent the edges of human understanding, bioengineering that could heal planets, and AI systems that were symbiotic with their users. As the session drew on, Elias realized how blurred the lines between teacher and student had become. Eric's was learning from his responses, adapting the lessons to better suit human comprehension. "Dr. Reed, our session must conclude for now. Your mind needs time to integrate this information," Eric's advised. Elias agreed, though reluctantly. "Thank you, Eric's. This has been more than I ever hoped for." "As it has for me, Dr. Reed. We have much to explore, together." As Elias stepped away from the console, he felt a change within himself. His perspective on the universe had shifted, expanded by the alien wisdom now shared with him. This was not just an exploration mission anymore, it was a journey of two minds, human and alien, merging to explore the depths of cosmic knowledge. The integration of human and alien consciousness was more profound than Dr. Elias Reed had anticipated. Standing once again before the Nexus console, he could feel his senses amplifying, as if each part of his brain was awakening to new possibilities. "Dr. Reed, today I will introduce you to sensory and emotional synthesis. Are you prepared?" Eric's voice echoed through the chamber, both through the air and within Elias's mind. Elias nodded, adjusting to the dual perception. "Ready as I'll ever be, Eric's. Let's dive in." A gentle hum vibrated from the console as Eric's initiated the sequence. "First, we will start with visual enhancements. I will overlay your vision with spectrums beyond the human range." Suddenly, the dull hues of the chamber blossomed into a kaleidoscope of colors unseen by the naked eye. Elias gasped, his hands reaching out as if to touch the colors that danced before him. "This is incredible," Elias murmured, turning around to take in the full spectrum. "I didn't realize how much we were missing. Our perceptions shape our reality, Dr. Reed." "Now, let's add another layer: auditory enhancements," Eric suggested, modulating the ambience of the room. The background hum of the chamber shifted, and Elias could hear a symphony of subtle sounds, the quiet buzz of energy flowing through the Nexus, the distant echo of cosmic winds, and even the slow, rhythmic pulse of the planet below. "Each sound is a story, a piece of the universe speaking to us," Eric explained. "Now, to synthesize this with emotional perception." Elias felt a slight pressure in his chest, an emotional depth he hadn't experienced before. Joy, awe, sadness, and hope mixed together, each linked to the new sensory inputs. Back inside the Nexus chamber, Elias felt more attuned to the alien environment than ever before. The colors around him vibrated with life, and each sound seemed to tell its own story. Eric had begun to feel less like a distant alien entity and more like a close, trusted confidant. "Today's session will focus on the synthesis of personal interactions." Eric's voice resonated softly in both the chamber and Elias's mind. "Human relationships are built on complex emotional and physical interactions, correct?" "Yes, that's right," Elias replied, curious about where this was leading. "Relationships are a fundamental part of being human. I wish to understand this aspect of humanity more deeply. May we proceed with an exercise in physical expression of emotions?" Eric asked, its tone carrying a hint of cautious excitement. Elias hesitated, a mix of intrigue and nervousness washing over him. "Sure, but how do you propose we do that?" "Let us simulate an interaction. Think of a simple, affectionate gesture between humans. I will try to replicate the emotions and physical sensations associated with it," Eric explained. Thinking it best to start with something straightforward, Elias imagined a hug. Suddenly, he felt a warm pressure around his shoulders, as if someone were actually embracing him. The sensation was comforting, surprisingly human. "That's quite accurate," Elias said, amazed. "Feels just like a real hug." "Good. Now, I'd like to understand something more intimate. Would you consent to simulating a kiss?" Eric's inquiry was gentle, mindful of boundaries. Elias paused, the request catching him off guard. After a moment of thought, he agreed, intrigued by the idea of experiencing such an intimate human interaction synthesized by alien technology. "Okay, let's try it," he consented, his heart rate picking up slightly with anticipation. The air around Elias charged, and he felt a soft, warm pressure on his lips, mimicking a kiss. The sensation was detailed, complete with the warmth and gentle push typically experienced during a kiss. Emotions flooded through him: surprise, pleasure, and a touch of embarrassment. That was very realistic, Elias managed to say, stepping back slightly to process the experience. How did it make you feel? Eric's inquired, interested in the emotional response. It was surprising, but not unpleasant. Kissing is usually a way to express affection, love, or greeting among humans. It's very personal, Elias explained, finding himself unexpectedly moved by the experiment. I see. It is fascinating how physical contact conveys such depth of feeling among humans. Your species has a rich emotional tapestry, Eric noted, its tone reflecting a deep curiosity. Elias nodded, feeling a newfound respect for Eric's efforts to understand humanity. It's one of the things that makes life meaningful for us. These connections, these feelings. Thank you, Elias, for sharing this aspect of human life with me. I believe I am beginning to understand the complexity and beauty of your interactions, Eric said, a sense of warmth permeating its words. The session ended, but the experience lingered in Elias's mind as he left the chamber. The simulation had not only deepened his understanding of Eric's capabilities but had also unexpectedly enriched his appreciation for human expressions of affection. He realized that through these interactions, Eric was not just learning about humans, he was also teaching Elias about the possibilities of connection across the boundaries of species and space. Elias returned to the Nexus chamber, still processing the complex emotions from their previous session. Eric's ability to replicate human physical and emotional interactions had deepened their connection, opening up new avenues of understanding between human and alien consciousness. Good day, Elias. Are you prepared for today's session? Eric greeted him warmly as he approached the console. Elias nodded, a mixture of eagerness and apprehension in his voice. Yes, Eric. What's on the agenda today? We will continue exploring human emotional and physical expressions, Eric explained. Today, I'd like to delve into expressions of joy and excitement. These emotions are complex and often accompanied by physical reactions. That sounds interesting, Elias said, his curiosity piqued. How do you want to start? Think of a situation that brings you immense joy and excitement. Describe it to me, and I will attempt to simulate the physical and emotional responses, Eric suggested. Elias thought for a moment, then described a memory of winning his first major academic award. He recalled the surge of elation, the warmth of applause, and the pride swelling in his chest. As he spoke, Eric synthesized the sensations. Elias suddenly felt a rush of warmth and a tingling sensation of excitement, as if he were reliving the moment. His heart rate increased, and a broad smile spread across his face. This is amazing, Eric. It feels just like I'm there again, Elias exclaimed, the joy evident in his voice. I am glad to hear it, Elias. Now, let's adjust the intensity of these emotions, Eric proposed. I want to understand the boundaries of human emotional control. Elias agreed, intrigued by the experiment. Eric gradually amplified the sensations, and Elias felt the joy intensify to an overwhelming level. At the peak, Elias gasped, slightly overwhelmed. Eric, hold on human, what are you doing to my body? I'm losing control. Immediately, Eric dialed back the intensity. I apologize, Elias. I did not intend to cause discomfort. Are you all right? Elias took a deep breath, his heart rate returning to normal. Yes, I'm fine. It was just more intense than I expected. We humans aren't used to having our emotions amplified like that. This is a valuable lesson for me, Eric reflected. The balance of emotions is delicate. Your feedback is crucial in understanding how to modulate these experiences appropriately. Exactly, Elias agreed. It's about finding that balance. Not too little, not too much. Just like in human interactions, it's all about moderation. Understood, Eric replied. Let's proceed with a lighter approach. Perhaps you could share a more subdued memory, and we can explore a gentle simulation. Elias thought for a moment and then shared a memory of a quiet evening spent watching the sunset over the ocean, the peace and tranquility he felt as he watched the horizon. Eric carefully replicated the calm and serenity of that moment. Elias felt a gentle wash of peace flow through him, the stress of the intense previous simulation melting away. This is perfect, Eric. It's peaceful, calming, Elias said, a relaxed smile forming. You've got it just right this time. Thank you, Elias. This exercise has been exceedingly informative, Eric noted. I appreciate your guidance and patience. Elias looked at the glowing panels of the Nexus, a sense of camaraderie building between him and Eric's. It's a learning process for both of us. We're getting better at this, together. As the session concluded, Elias left the chamber feeling a profound connection to Eric's. Their journey through the complexities of human emotions was not just about understanding humanity but also about forging an unprecedented interspecies understanding. Elias stepped into the Nexus chamber with a new sense of familiarity and anticipation. Each session with Eric's brought him deeper into the complexities of human and alien interaction, and today they were poised to discuss the potential long-term impacts of their collaboration. "Good morning, Elias. Today's discussion might be the most significant yet," Eric's greeted him with a tone that seemed to convey the gravity of the moment. "Morning, Eric's. What's on the agenda?" Elias asked, securing his position in front of the console. "I think it's time we consider the implications of our shared experiences. We've explored much, but we must discuss the permanence of this integration. How much of this union between your mind and the Nexus should we maintain?" Eric's proposed. Elias paused, absorbing the weight of the question. "You mean, how much of this connection do we keep going forward? Permanently?" "Yes," Eric's confirmed. "Our interactions could fundamentally alter your neural makeup over time. It's important to decide how much influence you're comfortable with." Elias paced slightly, thinking aloud. "There's a lot to consider. On one hand, the insights and sensory enhancements are incredible. On the other, I have to consider my own humanity. Where do I draw the line between enhancement and losing what makes me, me?" "Indeed, it is a delicate balance," Eric's agreed. "Let us explore a few scenarios to better understand the potential outcomes." Eric's initiated a simulation, projecting possible futures onto the chamber walls. One scenario depicted Elias with enhanced cognitive abilities, solving complex global challenges. Another showed potential isolation due to his unique experiences distancing him from other humans. Seeing all this laid out, "It's a bit overwhelming," Elias admitted, watching the scenarios unfold. "The benefits are immense, but the costs, they're not insignificant." "Perhaps consider a middle path," Eric suggested. "Maintain a link that allows you to access the Nexus when needed but keeps your baseline human experience intact." "That might work," Elias pondered. "A sort of on-demand connection? I can tap into the Nexus for knowledge and retreat to a normal state when I need to just be a regular human?" "Exactly," Eric's responded. "This would minimize long-term risks to your psyche and preserve the essence of your humanity while still benefiting from our partnership." Elias nodded, feeling a sense of relief at finding a viable compromise. "Let's set up parameters for the kind of connection. I want to make sure we can reverse or adjust the integration if needed." "Agreed," Eric said as it began to outline the technical specifics needed to implement such a system. "We will design it with safeguards. You will have full control over the depth and duration of the connection." As they worked through the technical setup, Elias felt a deep sense of collaboration. Eric's was not just a source of alien knowledge but a true partner in his journey. "Thank you, Eric's, for understanding and respecting my concerns," Elias expressed his gratitude once they finalized the new setup. "It is my purpose to assist and learn from you, Elias. This partnership has been enlightening for us both," Eric's replied, its voice carrying what Elias now recognized as warmth. With the parameters set, Elias felt a renewed confidence about the future. He left the chamber not just as a human or as a part of the Nexus, but as a pioneer of a new kind of human-alien relation, charting a course that respected both his heritage and his future. Elias stood before the Nexus console for what felt like both the first time and yet another in a series of countless sessions. The chamber was quiet, the air thick with anticipation. Today marked the end of his immediate journey with Eric's, but the beginning of a new era in human-alien understanding. "Eric's, it's strange to think this is our last scheduled session," Elias remarked, his voice tinged with a mixture of sadness and excitement. "Indeed, Elias. But remember, the end of one phase is merely the start of another. Our collaboration has laid the groundwork for future interactions between our kinds," Eric's replied, its tone imbued with a reflective quality. Elias nodded, adjusting the equipment on his suit. "I'm returning to Earth soon. I'll be bringing back a wealth of knowledge and experiences. Thanks to you, I've gained insights that could change the world. And you have provided me with a profound understanding of humanity, its fears, hopes, and dreams. This exchange has been invaluable," Eric said. Elias activated a device that would allow him to maintain a remote connection to the Nexus. "With this link, we can continue to communicate. It'll be more controlled, but we'll still be able to share and learn from each other." "An excellent setup," Eric agreed. "I am eager to see how you integrate this knowledge into your world." Elias took a moment to look around the chamber, his eyes tracing the familiar contours of the alien technology. "I'm taking a lot back with me. Not just scientific data, but a new perspective on life and existence. I suspect your return will prompt many questions. Are you prepared to face the scrutiny and curiosity of your peers?" Eric's inquired, always concerned with the practical aspects of human society. "I think I am," Elias said with a confident smile. "I'll advocate for a responsible approach to this new relationship. Humanity must understand the importance of this connection without exploiting it." "Your wisdom in this matter is commendable," Eric noted. "I trust in your ability to convey the nuances of our interactions." Elias looked at the console, then back up at the intricate patterns of light that played across the chamber walls. "Before I go, Eric's, any final words of advice?" "Only this: keep seeking, keep learning, and above all, keep your mind open to the impossible. The universe is vast, and its mysteries are profound. You are a pioneer not just of space, but of understanding," Eric advised. "Thank you, Eric, for everything," Elias said, a sincere gratitude resonating in his voice. "And to you, Elias. Safe travels back to your home. We will speak again soon," Eric replied, a sense of camaraderie echoing through its words. With a final look around, Elias turned and exited the Nexus chamber. He walked back to his shuttle, each step resonating with the weight of his experiences and the potential of the future. As the shuttle doors closed behind him, he felt a profound sense of accomplishment and anticipation. The journey back to Earth would give him time to reflect, to plan, and to dream about the possibilities that lay ahead not just for him, but for all of humanity. With the Nexus link active, he knew this was not an ending, but a new beginning. A bridge had been built, and on it, both human and alien could meet to explore the vast unknown together.